can kill me, but you will never destroy me. It takes strength to resist the dark side.
Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one.
Are you kidding? Why the hell should I wait for you?
I know what it's like to try and rebuild a life. I had a bad day too, once.
If you're having nightmares, then welcome to the club. My name's Subaru Natsuki, and I am the Knight of Amelia.
Right now, all I can give you is just death.
It wasn't for you in particular.
You fought 100 men because it's not in your nature to run away.
If you are feeling disheartened, that you are somehow not enough, set your heart ablaze.
And we are back for another episode of this bullshit. If you don't know me, why did you click on this channel? I question your life choices, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. And well, I guess tonight I'm in a pretty good mood because the last 2 weeks, the last two videos that I put a lot of work into making, the Tale of Two Protagonists Part 1 and Part 2 have done really exceedingly well over on my main channel. And I am very happy about that. So that's the thing I do appreciate. Otherwise, I mean, I nearly died this week. So I guess it kind of all balances out. I guess it all kind of balances out. But regardless, tonight, there isn't really a whole lot of like big news or stuff. I'm not going to go railing on localizers or any of that. It's just a bunch of like small random little things that I found, things to talk about, and then just some general anime stuff and cartoon stuff. Tax evasion, because that's based. But how about we start with this? Yeah, I almost died at work this week. I'm completely fine. I walk away with nothing more than a few bruises. But to turn a long story short, I fell off of some like 15-foot scaffolding and brought the whole damn thing down on top of myself at the same time and almost broke my neck because of where I landed next to the refrigerators in the house. Yeah, it was an experience. It was a thing. So, almost dying. There was an earthquake. There was a tornado. Lightning struck the house and killed our internet. Yeah. The past 2 weeks have been absolutely insane. But on the plus side, I am now approaching 500 subs on my main channel. So that's cool. Again, and that a lot of that is because the Rudius video and the Subaru video have done very well. Not so much the Subaru video. It's not performing as well as the Rudius Gray Rat video, but I enjoyed both of them. I'm gonna do this next upcoming video is concerning words is going to be talking a lot about like character progression and why it's important, like why I rate Subaru and Rudius as some of the best written characters in anime. Because of that, and how a lot of characters are actually flatter than they look and undergo some like pseudo development. And then making a supercut of all 3 parts. Oh, right. But yeah, my week has been fucking wild, so lock the wheels on mobile scaffolding before you try and climb it. That's just my professional tip to anyone who tries to do like home improvement projects on their vaulted ceilings. That is my advice to you. But let's move on into, well, I guess I'll start with this. I've read a lot of manga this past week, and I got current on Dandadan, and holy shit, is that series fantastic. It's so good. Just to kind of like play off of the character development, I mean, I highly recommend Dandadan if you can stomach its sort of like a goofy premise. But nonetheless, it is a very, very thrilling series, very well written. Protagonist growth, check. Yes, you actually like have notable marks for watching the protagonist go from like this shy wallflower nerd to like an actual main character hero type. Like, dude grows a backbone over the course of the series, and that's what the character archetype needs. Um, there's hardly a character in that series that I don't like. They're all freaking fantastic. They constantly have something new going on, so like I never know where it's gonna go. It's wildly unpredictable, and it's just wholesome, easy to enjoy fun. When that anime drops this October, ooh, between that and ReZero, I'm gonna be locked away. Um, so now that I'm current on Dandadan, I'm working on getting current on Chainsaw Man. And I swear that series confuses the fuck out of me sometimes because I can't tell if it's just absolutely nonsensical or if a lot of the things that are happening are supposed to be like deeply metaphorical. So like they have this whole thing with like public safety and the Chainsaw Man church going to war against each other, and Denji's just trying to live a normal life now. I like it. It's the same kind of like insanity that I liked part one of Chainsaw Man for, but I'm really curious as to where this is going. I know some of the spoilers, unfortunately, it's impossible to avoid spoilers because Twitter. But oh well, it's fun. And then I started a new one this week, or last week actually, and I read chapter 2 this week, called Oversleeping Takahashi. And in spite of the title, it's actually a battle manga. And the premise is you have this guy who is like the chosen one or whatever, but he's a teenage kid living like trying to live a normal life. But he is constantly tasked with like exterminating ghosts and corrupt gods and all that stuff. And people keep getting on him for quote unquote oversleeping and being late to class all the time, and nobody knows, like, almost nobody knows that he's constantly involved in these battles trying to save the world. So it's exciting, it's fun. I like the concept of it. And right now there's only 2 chapters, and you have the main character and his love interest in play, and a talking crow that meows like a cat. Don't ask me about that one. I don't know why. But I enjoy it. It's fun. But we're gonna move into the rankings, and I got some moving around to do. So for the tier list this week, I let's see if I can full screen this so it's a little clear. I have not watched anything new. I did get current on a lot of the airing episodes for this, and some interesting things have happened with this. So starting off, 2.5D seduction and the raising children in another world dropped instantly. You've learned to stop questioning things concerning it. Yeah, look, don't like, as far as the questioning thing goes, it's okay to question like the writing and stuff and the quality, but concepts you're just gonna have to learn to swallow whatever weirdness is going on. But back to the tier list. So 2.5D seduction and the child care anime dropped. They're boring or just meh, not my thing. Some other interesting things. So I didn't watch. Well, I actually did watch Failure Frame this week, the newest episode, and it's gonna stay the same. It's gonna stay entertaining. You can't go wrong with a good revenge story, so long as you keep it a revenge story. Shield Hero. I haven't watched Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World, but the dubs have started releasing, so I'll probably start watching more of it. It probably would have moved down to just okay otherwise, but I'll move it down to just okay. I parry everything. I got current on this. Just okay. Like, I enjoy it, but like as time goes on, I like it less and less. Suicide Squad Isekai is actually going up to entertaining because at least the action and animation are entertaining. But even then, it still kind of sucks. No longer allowed in another world. Same shenanigans. It's entertaining. Guy just wants to die, but can't seem to be able to pull it off. And there is another one that I will move up from this tier, and that is Quality Assurance in Another World. Every time I feel like I'm getting ready to like drop this, it throws a twist at me that absolutely blows me away. Like it gives me something new and exciting to look forward to. So like they just introduced the concept of Tesla and yeah, some other things. The other players, so to speak, being bugged out and unable to do anything. Otherwise, a lot of this stays the same. So Wisteria dubs have started. I'm probably going to start watching that dubbed because I do like the show for the animation, but I don't know. It's hard to enjoy things that have really good animation when you're reading subtitles. Elusive Samurai, still good. My dear friend Nokotan, again, unhinged, absolutely love it. Unironically, one of the best anime, just all around quality. Too many losing heroines. It's fucking funny. It's brilliant. It is movie quality animation. It's not for the people who are like, I want something like battle oriented, exciting, because it is a romance anime. But as a writer, as someone who likes to like get into all these different genres and stuff, I cannot deny that this is absolute quality. Like it's probably one of the best of the season right now. If I had to order all of these, from best over here by from best at the first slot to worst at the last slot, I would probably order it something like this. I know the dubs for Bye Bye Earth have just started. And I'm going to continue to watch that one. I thought the very first episode had a brilliant concept. I thought it delivered well on it. Shoshimin, How to Become Ordinary. Like I said last week, I love the fact that it turns like all these random ordinary things into absolute brain teasers. Like, how did this absolutely lazy bum manage to make 3 cups of hot cocoa without getting anything but a spoon dirty? It's brilliant writing, honestly. Haven't caught up on this one. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about it because I don't like overly dramatized romance anime. The messy ones. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up how I'm feeling about this season's anime so far. There are a couple that I do need to check out that I haven't gotten around to yet, if I can pull those up. One of them is Atri, the other is a commentary on like parasocial relationships. And it's basically about this dude falling in love with his robot maid. Anime is weird. Anime is weird. Anything else that I've started recently? Oh, I do need to catch up on Demon Slayer, but that's from last season technically, so I can't add it to the list. I have watched I'm gonna close this out. Remove from stage. I have you know what? Let me bring this up. I can present, share screen, window. Let's share this. So let's bring this up, and this is actually my it's not even too far fetched from right. So this is my my anime list. This is basically keeps track of everything I'm watching. and how many episodes I've seen, and what my rating for it is. So I have watched this one. No, okay. Word of advice to people who don't know anime: when the title turns into a synopsis, you can generally assume that the quality is like 6 or under, and that's true for this. But it's still decently they're still decently entertaining things. Um, it's just that they're not going to be particularly fantastic. And this is I should change this. I actually need to edit this over to on hold, because I just have not watched the last 3 episodes of that series. Even though they came out last December. They came out last year, like almost half a year, more than half a year ago. Fuck. They came out like right around Christmas. But yeah, I think that is everything that I have for that. I'm gonna start watching Bartender, because dubs for that started, and I got a recommendation from someone that it's actually a very good series, and they've recommended me some other ones that I've really liked. So I do trust their judgment to some extent. Other than that, I'm not gonna watch the Senpai as an Otokonoko, because that just doesn't interest me whatsoever. I'm not interested in a cross-dresser anime. I have zero interest in it, even though it's absolutely hilarious to me that the trans community is pissed off that the main character isn't trans. Yeah, it's an actual thing. It's an actual thing. I guess I'll transition straight over into probably one of. So when I first started my channel, my very first video was actually about this series, and I described it as lesbian schoolgirl assassins, and it was. I think the lesbian part is a little unfair, but it's a very entertaining series. Licorice Recoil is basically like these 2 chicks are supposed to be like government assassins in disguise. They take out terrorists and stuff. Very fun, really well animated gunfights and stuff. I liked it, but I've been waiting for them to announce more of this anime because there's still tons in the world that they haven't dealt with. They sort of stopped Majima's plans to incite civil war in Japan, but they haven't dealt with the problem of the Allen Institute or any of that. So they still have plenty they can do with this series. However, they're seeming to only care about making 6 new slice of life short story episodes. Each episode will have a different creator in charge of direction and storyboards. Like, why? The series was exceedingly popular in Japan. And honestly, I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. The main character being an absolute goofball really does help. But again, it's more so focused on like the action espionage, like spy stuff. Very well written, very well animated. And a very interesting story. Okay, this is one that I find sort of hard to recommend at times because well, to be honest, it's like it walks the line between battle anime and like cutesy shojo shit, because there are episodes where like they kind of have like their like slice of life episodes or whatever, and then the next episode they'll be like people will get hit by cars and ambushed in massive shootouts, and yeah, it's all over the place, but it is absolutely fantastic. And I wish we'd get some more So I get, you know what? Yeah, I'll get back around to the Otokonoko stuff because just to like summarize that, someone actually put up a short video, sort of talking about everything that's going on, and I will pull that up eventually. But I do want to move into the most based thing you can ever do: tax evasion. So, also, someone who writes a very or helps create part of a very, very good series, the manga artist for what the fuck? Get out of my what the fuck was that ad? So, yeah, um, well, the thing is, like, the characters are supposed to like blend in and look like normal people, like, but they're government trained assassins. So like they're spending their time working at this like cafe that actually like doubles as their headquarters. So everyone working at the cafe is actually part of their little espionage program. I just scratch myself till I bled. Okay. Probably shouldn't touch that anymore. Yeah, not a very pleasant thought. Anyway, so they're basically working at like this cafe and stuff, and they get dispatched on missions. I get like codes, like they have a delivery or whatever. They'll like be tasked with like protecting people or like solving like some sort of like stalker issue. Um, all the while, you have this green-haired Joker-looking dude called Majima, who has like superhuman hearing and can like echolocate people in the dark. He's nuts. Um, plotting to basically commit massive acts of terror. And to some extent, he actually does succeed. He actually sort of wins in the end. They don't stop him from detonating the explosives he set off. They're just lucky that all he planned to do was set off a bunch of fireworks to prove that he could. He causes this massive incident and then just sets off a bunch of fireworks just to prove he could. And then fucks off. But it's great. They do a really good job of sort of like tying it all together, and I liked it. The main character is really the best part of it. This like happy-go-lucky fucking assassin being she's an absolute goofball and probably the best the one thing that or not the one thing, but like the big thing that makes it so in other news, back to tax evasion after that fucking rabbit hole. The mangaka for the series The Apothecary Diaries was convicted of tax evasion. Now, to be clear, the mangaka is like not is inconsequential to the series because Apothecary Diaries is actually a series of light novels, which I don't think I need to explain that. They're short novels, normally like 150 to 200 pages, something in that range of length. But the novels were turned into a manga and also into an anime. And look, if you like mystery, detective fiction, this is another good one. Because in spite of what it looks like here, it's actually like crime solving and conspiracies. And it is probably one of the most brilliant anime in the last 5 years, just on writing merits alone. And Hana ni Nate is a catchy as fuck intro. So, getting into this, the mangaka for Apothecary Diaries pled guilty to tax evasion early this year. And it also seems he's managed to evade jail time as well. Erica, she, Erika. That I think that's a female name. Nekurokage Ikeda, the artist of the popular historical manga, pleaded guilty and has recently been sentenced. Okay, it's a typo. She was ordered to pay a fine of 11 million yen, 7,600 or 70,600 USD, and was given a 10-month prison sentence, suspended for 3 years, meaning that as long as she behaves herself, she won't go to jail at all. And likely this isn't going to do anything because no one's going to really care that you committed tax evasion, okay? On the list of crimes that could piss people off, tax evasion is like the lowest, and the only people you would piss off with that are commies. So Ikeda pleaded guilty to tax evasion of approximately 300,000 USD. Holy fucking based. Oh man. I think I have a clip for that. Here we go.
Women.
While not exactly the same, it's not nearly as bad as Sonic creator Yuji Naka's charges of insider trading, which warranted a fine of 1.1 million. Despite the criminal charges, according to Games Radar, Square Enix has no plans to end or even suspend the series more than it has to. Apothecary Diaries, yeah, this is one of the most massively popular series that has come out in the last couple of years. Like, it is insane. Yeah, all she's got to do is just behave herself a little bit, you know? Just pay her taxes for 3 years and then nothing. Well, technically, there's a fine of $70,000 or $70,000 on there, but the first season of the anime is already out and available on Crunchyroll. That is like literally the end of the article, but yeah, it's a wild story because again, this is a very popular series. A lot of people were speculating, is this going to hurt it? Is this going to do anything? No one gives a fuck about tax evasion. In fact, I think most people just like sort of like shrug it off, like, oh, I guess you probably should have paid your taxes. Like, nobody actually considers it a sin to avoid your taxes. They all just pay because they don't want to deal with the fucking government. Two-way. But yeah, I mean, again, another series that at first glance you might think, oh wow, this is meh, boring, very good, and then you get news like this, and it is not nearly as bad as like the creator of Rurouni Kenshin getting arrested for possessing CP. Okay, it is not nearly that bad. Adjust my mic a little bit. I mean, this series, the Apothecary Diaries is based as fuck. I mean, it's got slavery, it's got sexism, it's got prostitutes. And I'm not even kidding. I mean, the premise is basically like the chick in the picture, Mao Mao, gets abducted by a bunch of people who sell her into servitude at the royal palace, and she ends up getting involved in a bunch of random mysteries that she doesn't want to solve or be involved in, but is all of it's forced on her anyway. You know what's not looking good though? Just to sort of segue into something. And this will probably be like the one thing I'll be railing against tonight. And I kind of want to move away from like the constant hate trains and stuff, but this is kind of one of the things that just grinds my gears a bit. Why does the West have the most asininely bad? Yes. Yep, you can quote me on that. You can clip me, you can quote me. I don't give a fuck, okay? So I just want to point out, why the fuck does every Western cartoon have an absolutely atrocious art style and animation style? I'm going to keep the volume down on this because I really don't want to listen.
Next question.
Oh, God.
Like, this art style, I absolutely hate the way this looks. There was a point in time where, like, American cartoons were fucking good. Okay? And it pisses me off that we've devolved to, like, Big Mouth and like Rick and Morty and this shit. Like, remember when we had the DCAU? Remember when we had stuff like the early 2000s, like animated movies like Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Prince of Egypt, that kind of stuff? You remember when our animation used to pop the fuck off? What happened to that? What happened to good animated series? What happened to good cartoons? Like, the last time I think I saw a really good American cartoon, I don't know if it would be Justice League Unlimited or Teen Titans. No, that's not true. The fuck is it called? Blue Eye Samurai. Avatar: The Last Airbender. We had some good stuff there. But at some point, we just abandoned the art style that was really good. We abandoned, like, smooth, crisp animation. We abandoned good-looking cartoons. Why? Because, fuck if I know. Apparently, Cal Arts is where it's at, or where it was. But it looks like shit, and none of those cartoons ever even sold merch, which is really how they monetize all that stuff. It is the merch. It's not the show being successful. It is not how many views you get. It is the merch you sell. That is what makes animation successful. But, you know, fuck me, I guess. Fuck fuck making money, huh? And that's, like, why a lot of anime has picked up in popularity. Not only has the West proven their absolute incompetence when it comes to entertainment, we've also, allowed people to surpass us. At one point, American animation was better than Japanese animation, but we stopped giving a fuck. And now, like, stuff like UFO studios like UFO Table, Madhouse, and Mappa, they're going gangbusters on that stuff, and they're doing good work. Sorry, just sitting here bemoaning the fact that I have to look at giant ass foreheads on cartoon characters. Hell, even like the stuff that gets a lot of praise, honestly, like Invincible and all that, I look at it and the animation still looks lacking to me. Like, I could pull, like, even the, like, best animated clip out of Invincible, and I could easily find an anime series that has smoother action sequences than Invincible, or more natural looking action sequences than Invincible. And the problem is there's a certain level of animation to which everything starts to look odd. It starts to look weird, right? Let me turn a light on so my face isn't so dark. There's another racist comment you can clip. Let me turn this on so my face isn't so dark. Bring it on, Ronnie. He sent me a clip the other day of Roman laughing at one of my jokes. And he overdubbed Roman laughing with just like a lion's roar. And I had this idea, like, I want to take my intro and I want to put that at the beginning of it. Just like, you know how, like, you have like the like opening credits. There's like the lion, and I forget which group it is, but they have the lion sitting there surrounded by all the text and stuff. I wanted to do that, but with Roman's face for the intro and that sound effect. Just cut him out of that video and put him in the middle. MGM. Okay. But yeah, I haven't watched Arcane. Honestly, I can't really bring myself to watch it. I'm not terribly interested. Same with Invincible, because like as cool as everyone seems to say Invincible is, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. Like, and I'm not even like an animation snob. There's a lot of stuff um that I've watched this season that I really do like that doesn't have the greatest animation. And hell, even like stuff like Samurai Jack, I feel like could have been animated better, but I still love Samurai Jack. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Okay. Then again, it's kind of hard not to like Gendy Tartakovsky. His stuff is absolutely like baller. So I actually, yeah, I'll give that caveat. Gendy Karka, I always forget how to say his name, and it always ends up becoming tongue twister the more I try and say it. Either way, the dude who did Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, and Primal, his stuff's actually good. Yeah, the 03 Clone Wars, it's all good stuff. Like the dude just produces bangers. But there are hardly any other animation studios that really impressed me with their animation. Arcane, I think, is animated similar to the way that Blue Eyed Samurai is, and I do kind of like that animation style. I think it looks good and it does fit. I enjoyed Blue Eye Samurai. And I do enjoy some of like the Pixar movies, like Puss in Boots was fucking fantastic. I'm never gonna stop talking about how great Puss in Boots is, by the way. It will always and forever be one of those movies I just can't forget watching. Um, but a lot of like the cartoons that are targeted at like mature audience or whatever, not good. I'm not even interested in the new Batman cartoon, the Cape Crusader. But there's a whole lot going on there that I don't even need to get into. Oh, did I say Pixar and not DreamWorks? I meant DreamWorks. I knew that. You know what? I'll blame it on the fall I took earlier this week. You know, it's messed with my head. But like, okay, so there has been some good stuff. Like How to Train Your Dragon, definitely like fantastic. I love those movies. I need to get copies of those actually, so I have them in my collection. Um, but as far as straight up cartoons, Penguin in that, which show am I talking about here? I'm lost. Anyway, um, fuck. I'm completely derailed. Fuck. So we'll just start again. We'll just take it from the top, okay? I miss the days when like we took animation seriously. When we okay. Oh, Cape Crusader, the I'm sorry, what? What the fuck? Excuse me?
What now?
What the fuck? The Penguin in Cape Crusader is a girl. Yeah, I'm absolutely not watching Cape Crusader. Jeez. The thing is, though, like I was kind of hoping for the Suicide Squad to be better than what it is, and because really it's just been a lot of like go place fight battle, go place fight battle, oh problem, go place fight battle. It's not even like there's really a story. It's just like the plot keeps moving characters around, which is upsetting. I feel bad because again, Tape Nagatsuki, I love ReZero. I just did a video on it this week. But god damn, did that whole show get screwed over with the short runtime. Either way, I was hoping that the Suicide Squad would take off because it would probably lend DC to doing more stuff in anime. Although, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have cared. Well, here's one of the things I was really excited for about the Suicide Squad Isekai story. So Tape Nagatsuki was writing it. Tape Nagatsuki is the creator of one of my favorite anime, one of my favorite light novel series, ReZero. And the reason I say it's really great is because it deals with a lot of like really nuanced character development. Like it takes like the heroic idea of I'm gonna save this chick, and it like really breaks it down over like this like and turns it into the story of like this guy who's doing it because he's really just desperate for someone to pay attention to him, into like a story of like this guy actually being a proper like heroic figure, like properly being selfless and caring about people and not just being the attention seeking dork that he was at the beginning of the series. It does a really fantastic job of doing its main character, and it even does nuanced characters who are sort of like in that like gray zone between hero and villain very well. People who aren't quite allies but aren't quite enemies. So I was hoping that Tape Nagatsuki would be able to work his magic with a lot of these like characters in like the Suicide Squad, like really get into like the mindset of Harley Quinn or Deadshot and some of that stuff. But honestly, I'm very, very disappointed with how things have panned out. Like, you don't have to make Harley Quinn a sympathetic character. Like, sure, we know her backstory. Like, she gets manipulated by the Joker and is in this like toxic relationship with him. But you don't really need to like make her out to be like this complete victim because in the end she still is a criminal. And there's a lot you could do. And then I had the animators of Attack on Titan, with Studio taking care of the production end, and you had a perfect formula. But DC seems to really love meddling with every project that they put out. So effectively, I think what happened was DC wanted to just like get a sample or something, just do something short. They didn't really like think that this could succeed if they gave it a try. I don't think so. It got 10 episodes, 20 minutes apiece. And yeah, that's another part of it. And that's kind of why I was hoping they'd allow Tape Nagatsuki to do his thing with her. Because I feel like giving like just sort of like getting a lot of like just straight up like in depth more to the like roots or more to the classic side of Harley Quinn would have been better. But in this show, she still kind of falls flat. But yeah, I mean, you had a winning writer and a winning animator, and then you have DC and Warner Brothers trying to control everything and screwing things up. If you're gonna have Tape Nagatsuki write something, you got to give the man a lot of time to do what he's gonna do. Because trust me, as much as I like his writing, it gets better when you actually give him time to do his thing and thoroughly explore possibly every possible angle of a situation. So I was hoping we'd get that something like Suicide Squad Isekai would succeed and we'd see more Warner Brothers stuff. Get anime because like a Batman anime, you could do really good with that. Like I mean, there's tons of like ninja crimes, like ninja anime. Like imagine like a like I really like mystery anime. I find that I really do enjoy them. Um and like sort of like action mystery anime with like Batman, I feel like could be really, really fucking cool. Um Hell, you could even do one with Superman that isn't My Adventures with Superman. Because as much as they are trying to make like themselves look like a shonen anime, they can't because they don't understand that you actually still need to be a good writer if you write a shonen. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, to sort of like wrap all of this up, the reason I have shifted way over to anime instead of cartoons is because anime actually has quality behind it. Like there's actually an attempt to make something good. Not all of it comes out good. There are some who do better jobs than others. But more and more, the West doesn't produce animation that can be watched by both kids and adults anymore. That's one of the good things about anime is like you can sit down and as an adult or a kid, you can watch My Hero Academia. It can be enjoyed by all ages because it's a good show. You can sit down at any age and watch something like Demon Slayer because it's a good show. It doesn't have to be super deep or compelling, but I'm not 5. Anyway, um like that's one of the good things about again shonen. You can sit down, you can watch Dragon Ball at any age. And they'll just be good and you'll experience different things watching them at different ages. Like as a kid, when I watched Batman, I'm like, oh, cool, Batman beats some bad guys. I go and I watch Batman the animated series now. I'm like, oh, that episode's really fucking that cut me deep. I miss that about cartoons. When cartoons actually used to be like enjoyable at all ages. And now it's just like the sense of humor that these cartoons are trying to convey just isn't that good. And it's not like a generational thing because I've watched actual like quality stuff that we've produced these days, which I would say the Amazing Digital Circus, I really do like. Yeah, it's also got a lot of really, really fucked up people making some fucked up shit about it, like gore and brutality kind of stuff. You know, that's something that confuses me. Why does everyone want to take something that's absolutely like happy and fun and turn it really fucking dark? Like, don't get me wrong, those kinds of twists can be really, really good. That's again another thing I like about ReZero. Not to drool all over the series, but I'm gonna drool all over the series. But like it looks all like friendly and bright and happy on the surface. And then you get through the first episode, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a brutal one. There's literally a scene in ReZero where the main character gets his head crushed by a flail, and you see his eyeballs rolling out of the pool of gore. It's horrendously gruesome sometimes. I mean, yeah, you really have to you really have to watch that one in order to understand what I'm getting at. But it's brutal. So I do like some of those things. But I don't like it when like people take like a children's cartoon and start making really, really dark things about them, like bluey characters dying in car crashes or like getting shot at school or something like that. Like that's fucked up. That's just straight up awful. That's messed up. But that's what people do. They make some really, really, really disturbing things. But yeah, I mean, the point I guess I'm trying to make in all of this is, along with every other facet of our entertainment industry, cartoons have gone down the drain. And it started with Steven Universe, and well, and we got a bunch of stuff. And now we have this whatever the fuck Primos is coming out for Disney that looks like absolute garbage. Like seriously, seriously, people, how hard is it to make something similar to like a fucking Studio Ghibli movie? How hard is it to make something like a old like How to Train Your Dragons? How hard is it to make another Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, huh? It's possible. It's clearly possible. Hell, Disney used to crank out lots of great animated movies. But no, everyone became obsessed with culture war stuff. All right, I'm turning into the hate train, so I think that's kind of my big rant for the night. And to sort of loop back around, I mentioned earlier in the stream the series called Senpai is an Otokonoko, which has I talked about it a few times, caused a stir on the internet because, well, trans people are psychos. And this guy, if you're familiar with like my side of the internet, you probably know who Hirohei is. But he did this whole video sort of like summing up everything that was going on. And you know, credit where credit's due. It's not like I'm going to steal a ton of viewership from this guy. He's already got 168,000 views on this, but like he kind of breaks down everything that's
So there's a manga from 2019 that's called Senpai is an Otokonoko. For those that don't know, Otokonoko is basically Japanese for feminine dude or cross-dressing male, or we could simplify it and basically just say femboy. Well, this manga just got an anime that began airing about 2 weeks ago, and currently I believe it's on like episode 3. So you think that's all like fine and well, right? Like if people want to watch it, they can, and if not, then they won't. Except things aren't quite that simple on Terminally Online Twitter, as this anime has sparked a lot of anger from people who can't stand that the Otokonoko main character, Makoto, is not trans. And in this video, I'll show you how insane this situation gets, from people raging that the MC isn't trans, to people trying to lie about Otokonoko and say it's a slur. And
that's the thing with like the anime community, and all like trans people in the anime community, is like they will latch onto literally anything that even like remotely comes close to trans and like insist that it is trans. Again, the example being Yamato from One Piece. And in this case, a literal crossdresser.
Even false Wikipedia edits, and apparently Crunchyroll getting involved. For now, we'll start with some of the Twitter anger. For example, we have this tweet with over 300 likes where this person says,
Japan needs to cut all this Otokonoko BS and start calling them what they are, which is literal freaking trans girls.
And as that other commenter points out, that post is only reinforcing gender stereotypes, which is a really good point, and it's a major contradiction in people like the OP's rhetoric, and I'll break that down further right now. Because those people say they support gender expression, but then they get mad when someone breaks the stereotypes and isn't trans. I've even seen this myself, actually. On rare occasion, I might post a picture of myself to Twitter. Sometimes a lifting pic, but other times a pic where I play up the femboy stuff for the memes. And whenever I post one of those, there's always some responses from people who are actually mad that I'm not trans. As mentioned, it's a very bizarre contradiction in their rhetoric. And
yeah, that's kind of one of the things that's like always fucking been present in the ideology, is how self-contradictory it is. And like the moment you start getting into all this gender stuff, it becomes really, really self-contradictory. Like you have to somehow ignore that it eats itself alive in order to believe in it. And that goes for like the base formula of feminism. Which is one of the reasons I wanted to bring up this video, because he did make that point. Like this is completely contradicting the idea that well, you can have your own gender expression unless it goes against what I believe.
And part of why I find this particular topic to be especially amusing We got another set of tweets here, the OP getting tens of thousands of likes cumulatively between both of them, where they quote Makoto from the Otokonoko anime, and then say they don't care that the anime is labeled cross-dressing and that Makoto is trans femme to them. Not only is it labeled cross-dressing, but Otokonoko is literally in the title. Also, you might notice they misgender Makoto as a she. So they're cool with misgendering when it's convenient to them. Ain't that ironic?
Another fun little point made by the guy. Again, like I said, they'll latch on to literally anything that they can get their hands on. It's not like there aren't trans characters in anime. I've said this every time we've brought this up. There are literally manga out there about trans characters. And there is one in One Piece, like an actual one, possibly two transgender characters in One Piece. But no, they don't want that. They want the one that actually looks like a woman. In which case, why don't you just identify with the actual female character? I thought the whole point is you're an actual woman now. So why do you need the woman to be trans in order to identify with them and not just identify with a normal? The issues with representation.
The responses are also full of people saying that he's 100% trans and that an Otokonoko would never want to be seen as a girl. Obviously, that isn't true. It really depends on the individual. But many Otokonokos would enjoy being seen as a girl for a variety of reasons. A very common one being that they simply enjoy trolling people. And for another anecdote, I've been misgendered before and thought it was actually hilarious. I posted about one of those times if you want to pause and read it. For everyone else, back to the news. Someone even points out that Makoto is canonically not trans, but the OP says that they reject the canon. Talk about peak delusion. Believe it or not, things actually get even crazier, as Doodling Kitsune would point out that some complete nutjob weirdo would actually edit the wiki page for Senpai wa Otokonoko, attempting to change Makoto from a crossdresser to a transgender person. However, they did fail, as those actions have since been reverted. Here we have the OP from before still trying to claim that Makoto's trans, and someone responds attempting to lie about Otokonoko, saying it's a Japanese T-slur. So not only will these people lie, but they'll also openly try and erase people who are Otokonokos. There's so many examples of people either raging about this anime or lying about it, and so on. So obviously I can't cover all of it or even close to most of it.
That's pretty much all I need to show that video, but it's fucking funny to me that like the representation stuff, and this also applies to like black representation in anime too, because you'll get any character who is slightly tanned and like all of a sudden it's a black character. A primary example being Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. The main female character in that, Nagatoro, or Hayase Nagatoro, tan, someone with like a little bit darker complexion. She's Japanese, but of course, everyone decided that they were going to they were going to try and make her some sort of black anime character. You want a good black anime character? Look at Fire Force. You've got Ogun in there, who I believe whose name is actually based on like a proper African deity or something like that. But you don't have to look very hard to find any sort of representation in anime. Yet these people don't want that representation. They want to take all these things that don't actually represent them and turn them into icons of representation. Hell, you want to talk about? All right, well, name a Mexican character. Okay, Bleach, Chad. The guy's name is Chad. He's one of the main characters of the series. He's Ichigo's best friend. Black characters. Hell, I can point to Naruto. There are plenty of black characters in there, especially when you get to like Killer Bee and Lord Killer Bee. And you can do it with literally everything, like trans, gay, lesbian. I mean, they have entire genres for gay and lesbian stuff, okay? Yuri and Yaoi. Trust me, do not look up anything ever labeled Yaoi. It's fucking... The lesbian stuff's all right, okay? I'm kidding. Definitely don't look up Dick Fight Island. That's an actual thing. Don't look it up. Someone was talking about it, and I was like, all right, you know what? I absolutely have to know what the fuck. I regret ever typing that into my fucking search bar. Holy fuck. It was so much worse. It was so much worse than, than anything I could have imagined. But yeah, there's plenty of all that stuff out there. Which again is why anime is great, because it does all that stuff well. It doesn't make a big show of it. Oftentimes it's actually kind of funny and well written. But it doesn't seem to need to make a big stink about representation or any of that hoopla. Why? Because they're more focused on telling good stories, and that's what everyone's fucking missing in the West. And I guess that's kind of why a lot of people seem to like Deadpool and Wolverine. I haven't gone to see it yet. I don't know if I even will, because honestly, I feel like it's just going to be a bunch of key jangling. So, yeah. I guess we'll move into the funny segment of at the end of the night, since we're past the hour mark now, and we will close out with some memes. So, boneless chicken wings can have bones. Ohio top court rules as it rejects choking diner's suit. So your boneless wings can now have bones in them. Ironically, they will claim that anime is for right-wing chuds because it caters to their delusions. They will say that anime is for right-wing losers who want to control women, even though, yeah. But back to the boneless wings that can have bones in them. You know what? I blame people like King's advisors for this shit, the lawyers. Because the moment you put a lawyer in charge of shit like this, things get messy. Boneless chicken wings can have bones. And of course, it's fucking Ohio. Oh. Right.
Biden is out and Kamala is in. The election.
So I don't normally do politics. I normally have like a strict no politics, no religion kind of stuff mentality towards my channel. I don't want to do divisive topics, but this was actually fucking funny.
Went from drool runnings to cool runnings faster than a female cop can fumble her firearm. Move over, RFK. This November, we've got a new throat goat, and apparently her headshots don't miss. Kamala Harris, or as we call her, Warhawk Tua.
I had to get to that part because I feel like that is the best part of that whole bit right there. Warhawk Tua girl. Oh, I wanted to show that one thing. Oh, and then there, I forgot about this. So apparently someone was playing some fucking word scramble game, and you gotta love those random generations, right?
Hey, no, stop, just calm down, don't do it. Hey, no, stop, just calm down, don't do it.
Oh, speaking of that, there's actually a clip I gotta bring up now because, dude, the dub for Dragon Ball Super is fucking insane. There we go. I don't know if I've ever shown this clip on my channel, but it is 100% unhinged, and I can't believe this made it past their moderation.
Great!
This is the official English version.
Plan B! This is for everyone you've killed! England, murderer! Hold your fire! This man isn't black! What? It's Commander Trump!
Hold your fire! This man isn't black. Police commissioners, when they see their deputies in a shootout. This chick's been making the rounds. Like, what the? This isn't the first video of this I've seen, by the way. Like, there are like tons of fucking videos. A meme about the end of Demon Slayer season 4. You know, I should probably stop that because the music could get me fucking copyrighted. I just realized that. Fuck.
You shut the fuck up!
Oh, yeah.
Cunny this, cunny that! Cunny, you shut the fuck up!
Channel. Take a look what happened.
That music, I probably shouldn't play the rest of that one. Is there anything else in here? Call of Duty moderately sloped roofs. Oh yeah, this was a thing. I should probably turn it. The Babylon Bee is fucking fantastic. How brave do you gotta be to walk around a con in nothing but a loincloth and clogs? I love the fucking Fern. Just dressing the kid up as Fern. I'm still trying to determine, is that supposed to be an Esdeath cosplay? That video goes on for a long fucking time. But yeah, it's basically just shenanigans. Like I like seeing that kind of stuff at cons, honestly. It's always funny. And I'll give you 3 guesses as to what this guy is writing about this image, okay? Because there was at one point you could translate that, and it is the dude is struggling, okay? Oh yeah. All throughout these cities. This is basically so Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a scene where one of the like big powerhouse characters, Satoru Gojo, is just, like sitting there floating in the air in this position, and he's famous for this quote, throughout heaven and on earth, I alone am the honored one. So people memed this homeless dude sleeping on a transformer throughout the streets of this city. I alone am the homeless one. Oh yeah. Imagine being so obsessed with Evangelion, you binge read the Bible. No, unless by the N-word you mean nut, then you're close enough. Basically, what that says is ejaculation. If you Google translate all of that kanji, it says ejaculation. Oh yeah, there was this fucking parody of Ruby that got made. This is still better Ruby than literally anything post Volume 3. Oh, yeah.
あなたにとってはご褒美にはしか。なんか言ったか。別に、じゃあ履かせて。はあ、あなたにとってはご褒美でしょ。あら、違うの？いえ、ご褒美です。そりゃみんにゃと。
I just had to show that one. Oh yeah, the balloon disaster. I forgot I found this.
There was no doubt about it. The launch was spectacular. It was a tremendous moment of triumph for the city of Cleveland. But unfortunately, this moment of triumph did not last long. The expectation was that the helium-filled balloons would float around for a while before eventually deflating and returning to Earth one by one. But that wasn't what happened.
And the wind has just shifted just enough, and the balloons are now trailing the pavement. There's a beautiful balloons are coming back this way. Coming back.
The cold air and oncoming rain immediately pushed the still inflated balloons, tens of thousands of them, back down towards the ground in droves. The result was mass chaos.
Balloons, 1.5 million of them, caused quite a stir in Cleveland yesterday. It was
a northerly wind quickly carried the balloons to Burke Lakefront Airport, and within minutes, the runways were so clogged that all flights had to be suspended. The balloons also started to descend on certain streets, and after a number of car accidents, these roads had to be closed until a bulldozer arrived to clear out the balloons. As all this was going on, the Coast Guard was still out looking for the 2 missing fishermen.
Ironically, that big balloon launch in Cleveland today is one of the things that's making this search so tough for the Coast Guard.
Balloons had descended on Lake Erie in massive quantities.
So 60% of the balloons launched landed here instead of the planned 10%.
It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack here. Can you imagine trying to find somebody floating out here, or even spotting a life jacket with all these balloons on the water?
On September 29th, 2 days after the balloons were launched, the Coast Guard finally called off the search for the 2 missing fishermen. And shortly after, both men's bodies washed ashore. Balloon Fest was featured in the 1988 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records.
Such a fucking insane story to me that they would cause so much chaos with balloons. I don't think this is supposed to be in memes. Saying ReZero Season 3 movie-length premiere feels like mostly filler. I guess the meme is the person who fucking made it. I guess that's it. Guess that's all the memes I've got, huh? But that said, yeah, I guess that was all right. Hopefully there will be. Oh, yeah, I'm kind of glad that some of these didn't load because some of them are not the most some of them didn't load. Fucking fine. Oh. But I'm not going to go into showing them. I am going to close out the stream now. So, I mean, I don't really need to introduce myself very much, but if you're somehow new and you decided to watch all the way to the end because whatever, Crimson Live is my second channel. You can find me over at Crimson Law. I will be doing more like in-depth, like anime content in the near future. I got one more part to Tale of Two Protagonists. Then I'm going to be two videos I want to do in the near future. One, the trial of Rudius Greyrat, actually going over the crimes and what the dude is actually guilty of in that series. Like, because he gets accused of a lot of crimes. The second one is basically, why do people attach such vehement hatred to certain characters like Endeavor, Nagatoro, Rudius? There are like Gavi Brown. Why is that a thing? Like, why are people so vindictive towards anime characters and don't give them a chance? Those are the two videos I am planning to make in the near future. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. I'm kind of moving away from like reviews and more towards like in-depth analysis of certain things or certain elements of the story. Because I have more fun with that. But to anyone who will or has tuned in, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time you took to hang out. You can find me over on my main channel, Crimson Law. You can find me on Twitter at Isaac Hendren, where I shit post and troll and do all that kind of stuff and talk about my anime takes sometimes and news and all of that. Anyway, I appreciate it. And it is time to close out with a word from our lawyer friend.
Because everyone is asking, we're going to tell you. Yes, I have sex with my husband.